mom with 2 mouths to feed. There were others to consider, too. Her other sister, Magnolia, and brother-in-law, Eric, had invested. And Colt, the man her aunt had helped raise since he was a teenager. They'd all put her in charge of this project. If she failed, she would let them all down. "We can negotiate a percentage based on the reservations that come in next month." She couldn't pay Tony more money until they made more money. "This project will never be done," Tony informed her. He could obviously read between the lines of her amended offer. "You'd be better off selling it right now, Rosie. The place is so old, you're going to keep having one issue after another. The land would be worth a whole lot of money." "I can't sell." That was the bottom line. She'd given up everything for this. So had her sister. Dahlia had moved her 2 children from Minnesota to help Rose manage the place. And what would Colt think if she gave up? When she'd first met him last Christmas, the man had treated her like she didn't belong in Juniper Springs. He'd thought she was flighty and capricious. But spring had been lonely around here, with Dolly back in Minnesota, and Rose had found herself talking to the man more and more, seeking him out for his opinion on this design for the mistletoe cabin and that design on the gingerbread cabin. Before Colt left to accompany Sassy on her trip, she'd promised he would return to a beautiful new resort that was ready to open. She couldn't let him down. "I'm not selling." "Well then, you're going to have to find another contractor." Tony took a lumbering step in the direction of the door. "I'm already behind on 3 other projects because of this disaster. I can't keep putting off my other clients." He made it out the door in 2 fast steps. "See you later, Rose." "Wait!" She fled after him, stumbling through the living room of her aunt's house, and finally caught up to him on the expansive front porch. "Just give me 1 more week. You can send some of the crew over to the other jobs, and I'll pitch in on the roof work." That stopped the man mid-stride. He shifted to face her, amusement written all over his face. "You, Rose Buchanan, is going to climb herself up onto a ladder and repair a roof?" He eyed her white eyelet capri pants and the Jimmy Choo wedge sandals she wore on her feet. Was it her fault she hadn't found the time or money to invest in a new, mountain-appropriate summer wardrobe? "Yes." Rose set her chin. "I will personally climb up on that ladder and repair the roof myself." She straightened her backbone and met his eyes with a look that dared him to laugh, like he obviously wanted to. Gumption might be all she had left of her southern roots, but that was all she needed to save the Juniper Inn. Okay, well, gumption and maybe a few miracles. 1 week, she repeated. They had to have the cabins done by then anyway. Next week, they were supposed to welcome their first guests with a grand reopening celebration that would also coincide with Aunt Sassy's 70th birthday. The Cleary family had been coming to the Juniper Inn for 3 generations before the place had fallen into disrepair, and the family had wanted to be the first to stay at the new and improved resort, so they had rented out the cabins for their children and grandchildren, and there would even be a few great-grandchildren. Everything was set. Deposits for the cabins were already made. That was the only thing keeping them afloat right now. She wouldn't be able to pay back the money, even if they weren't able to open their doors in time. The familiar stress knot pulled tighter in her stomach. 7 days. That's all I'm asking. You tell me what to do, and I'll do it. She would roll in a mud puddle like a hog in her white capris if that's what it took. Fine. The word came out in a thundering sigh. Tony pointed a stubby finger at her. 7 days. That's it. And half my crew is going to start on the upgrades to the town hall, so you'd best be ready to work hard. I'm ready. She'd been working hard ever since she'd returned to Juniper Springs last Christmas. This would only add a little more grit and grime to her daily routine. And do yourself a favor, Tony added, trudging down the